Hello there, good morning and welcome to your election poll center. This is ABC Headline. I am Eric Trinibua Melo. Coming up in the headlines, the Election Commission EC begins the nationwide special voting exercise today, but with the exception of 2 regions. Details of these 2 regions will come up shortly. Also, the 2 major political parties, NPP and NDC, yesterday, December 1, shook the Ashanti region with mammoth campaign activities as the NDC eyes more seat. Later in the headline, police commence investigation into the Wasa Amenfi Central Parliamentary candidate attack. We settle for the details of these and more shortly. To stay. You're welcome to the program. You're streaming live on YouTube, ABC News GH. Do want to follow us, stream live, get interactive with us. Let's begin with the first story. The Electoral Commission EC begins the nationwide special voting exercise today, and this allows election officials, security personnel, and media practitioners to cast their ballot earlier ahead of the December 7 general election. Initially planned for 328 centers, the exercise in the western and eastern regions has rescheduled to Thursday, December 5, 2024, due to a recall of ballots with 131,000, I beg your pardon, 478 eligible voters, representing 0.007% of the total voter population of 18.7 million. The polls will return from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
On Friday night, the Commission was informed by the National Security that one single defaced ballot paper meant for the Eastern region had been taken out of the printing house. And I'd like to repeat that it was one single defaced paper for the presidential election in Eastern region had been taken out of the printing house. The printing was undertaken by the Checkpoint Limited, and as you know, supervised and observed by the National Investigation Bureau, the National Security, the police, as well as the agents of the political parties and staff of the EC. It is important to note that this single defaced paper had been earmarked for destruction by burning by the company. For some reason, it found its way out of the printing house. It's also important to note that Checkpoint has had a long history and track record with the Electoral Commission and has printed ballots for the Commission since 1992. I'm not sure what that's going on. In the light of this revelation and information from the National Security, the Commission took the decision that in order to ensure and guarantee the integrity of the election in the Eastern region, the ballot papers for Eastern region should be recalled. The ballot papers for the Eastern region should be recalled and new ballot papers printed for the region. In our spirit of transparency and accountability, we have today invited the leadership of the political parties as well as the agents of presidential candidates to inform them of the findings that the National Security made to the Commission. The Commission is of the view that as part of its efforts to remain transparent and above board, it was important to inform the political parties about the leakage of this single ballot paper meant for the presidential elections in Eastern region, and to inform them about.
Away from that, the National Election Security Task Force has called on security personnel to actively participate in the special voting exercise scheduled for Monday, December 2. The exercise will take place nationwide except in the eastern and western regions where it has been rescheduled to Thursday, December 5. The postponement for these regions follows the Electoral Commission's decision to recall the reprint ballot papers due to issues with the original materials. In a statement, the police service noted that, and I quote, "Those who are supposed to vote in the two affected regions will be given the opportunity to cast your vote when a new date is announced by the Electoral Commission." It goes on to say all personnel of all the security agencies are therefore directed to come out in their numbers 2nd December 2024 to cast their vote. Still on election, the Ghana Armed Forces has clarified its role in the December 7 presidential and parliamentary elections, emphasizing that no military personnel will be stationed at polling stations on election day. In a statement released on December 1 ahead of the election, the Ghana Armed Forces noted that the military will only be deployed upon a formal request from the Ghana Police Service to handle specific situations requiring additional security reinforcement. According to the Ghana Armed Forces, this collaborative approach underscores a commitment to maintaining law and order while ensuring that the electoral process is free from undue interference. Quoting, "As part of our ongoing commitments to maintaining national security and peace during this critical democratic exercise, the Ghana Armed Forces wishes to reiterate that no military personnel will be sanctioned at any polling stations. Ghana Armed Forces preference will be limited to standby support with primary responsibilities for election security remaining with the Ghana Police Service." Away from that, the vice presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has called on security services, the media and other agencies participating in Monday's special voting exercise to consider voting for the NDC. Speaking to journalists on Sunday, December 1 in Cape Coast following a meeting with regional Muslim leaders, she emphasized the importance of fair and accurate coverage of the process. Professor Opoku-Agyeman also urged the Election Commission (EC) to maintain fairness, balance throughout the exercise. Addressing the security service directly, she encouraged them to reflect on the prevailing economic hardship when casting their votes, suggesting that these conditions should guide their decision making.
To go ahead and do it. We don't expect that to be to be in the news for the wrong reasons, for the reason that there are not that many. Okay, so we are calling on all of you who are supposed to ensure peace, and I think that's part of it, to provide fair coverage, truthful coverage of what exactly is going on the ground. And I think that is why a day has been set out for you. So you use it for a purpose, and the purpose is to cover as widely, as objectively, and for our security people also to be as fair as we all expect them to be. I don't think there was any time that we were in government that you guys had to go to another country because you couldn't work in your own country. You know what I'm talking about? Who went into exile? Who was picked from their office at all times and, incarcerated and so on. So it's up to you. You know all these experiences. Even those of us who were, and this was targeted as a violent and so on. Where is the violence? Now you see the two. The choice is yours. I will not be in the room for you, but I hope we will all be guided by what has happened and what should happen.
Still on some election news, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, has announced the operationalization of electronic gates at Toka International Airport beginning Wednesday, December 4, 2024. He made this announcement in the Ashanti region during the last campaign activity in the region ahead of the December 7 voting.
Yadin Shisha Fufrobi Abba, and Idiot may be on Wednesday. yɛde ade a yɛafrɛ no e-gate aba Kotoka International Airport. E-gate ne kyerɛ sɛ wotu kwan na wobɛdu Kotoka a ɛnkyɛ bi a yɛde bɛba Kumasi so. Wotu kwan na wode bɛdu Kotoka a ukuta Ghana card a unko immigration officer hobium uberi bakoto atu e-gate no na abie amao na wabam inside free from Wednesday ya beshi asiye yeno sa Chabai mamunu me pese munya digital skills ene ejuma bebre wo digital world ho usua sa digital skills no a ubetimi atena joabin ha one u computer na everyday uye ejuma ewo America ewo Canada ewo UK ewo Singapore ewo Australia on your computer right here.
And away from the NPP, let's go to the camp of the NDC, where John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, has criticized President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo for commissioning an uncompleted project. He also reaffirmed his commitment to enhancing trade and business activities, particularly in the Ashanti region. Now, during the Inti Asanteman Asidani walk in Kumasi on Sunday, December 1, Mahama promised to introduce a fixed-rate scheme aimed at stabilizing the dollar to CD exchange rate, which he believes will improve business operations in the region. Mahama also emphasized that while the Ashanti region is traditionally seen as the stronghold of the NPP, it is important base for the both major political parties. He pledged that the NDC would work diligently to secure as many votes as possible in the region.
A commission projects are all year. And now I'm in the Palace Mall, you were interchanging via Mim Namisha Sesame. I'm about a field line, almost my contractor in Jali. Second time, you and almost starting a crack. Over still scaffold, maybe our bridge, Nancy. That's what Papa to my. For God, Massey Airport. After now, April, no, Omoda, so yeah, also, Wako Commission. So, now 419, the only to be in Ghana. Now, no, Misha, yeah, so Ethiopian Airlines, Misha, say, Kumasi to London. They go to Ethiopian Airlines. Almost say you're plane, so be like that, and your man, Akasa, and on Misha, say, MSR, and you know. I was almost a massive war. Say over the Ethiopian Airlines Air Chassis, Accra, Kumasi to London. Obina charter plane no. Now a charter said the mayor on Ethiopian Airlines are starting and Sanaya to Aba. And also your 419.
You are reminded that ABC still remains your poll center. Let's do some more news here on your poll center. The Ghana Police Service has commenced investigation into the altercation involving the NDC parliamentary candidate for Wasa Amenfi Central, Joanna Kojo, and a section of the Ajaka Mansu community in the Western region. At least 6 supporters of the Amenfi Central National Democratic Congress NDC have been injured, while the parliamentary candidate Joanna Jan Kojo escaped unhurt at Ajaka Mansu when some suspected thugs reportedly attacked Madam Jan and her entourage while returning from the campaign on Saturday, November 13 at night. Her campaign vehicle was damaged as its glasses were smashed by those thugs. These tags, the victims suffered wounds on their heads, hands and legs. They are currently being treated at a nearby hospital, while the case has been reported to us at Dominasi Police Station for further investigation. One of the victims, whose name for now has been withheld, said Madame Joanna Kojo and her entourage were returning from a campaign at Ajakamansom. According to the victim, a vehicle suddenly crossed Joanna Jan Kojo's vehicle, pounced on them and allegedly smashed the vehicle. Reasons for the attack are not known, as the police have commenced investigations. Away from that, the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II has called on Parliament to resolve its impasse, warning that Ghana's fragile democracy cannot withstand prolonged political drama. Speaking at KNUST's 58th congregation, he urged lawmakers to honor their duty by reconciling their differences while respecting Ghana's political history.
I am confident, and I'm not alone in believing that we are living through the most dangerous period in human history. Africa is caught at the pit of an existential crisis from climate change, for which it bears no responsibility, but must now pay its heaviest price. In the heart of Europe and in the ruins of Gaza, mankind is slowly but seriously drifting into wars, the consequences of which could be incalculable. And all of this stems from the failure, the refusal of men and women to let go of past grievances. Across the African continent, political divisions have deepened conflicts and undermined the scope for cooperation. So, the refreshing harmony of the ECOWAS sub-region is now endangered by conflicts. And now, in our country, our pride and joy as a fountain of democracy is imperiled by developments that can only stick in our throats. So, after our lofty experiences of the past 3 decades, how sad it is how sad is it to see the impasse in our legislature, the continuing antipathy towards the institutions of state that should guarantee our peace and stability, and particularly in the challenge to the rule of law. We may have been through some of these experiences before and overcome them, but the vehemence of the current impasse carries forebodings we cannot simply afford. So, our political leaders are in danger of ignoring the lessons of our history and the penalties of miscalculation in a febrile political environment, except possibly within the unwelcome ambit of a one-party state. There is no system of governance which can be sustained without a process.
Away from that, data from Bank of Ghana indicates a notable rise in mobile money transactions, reflecting the growing adoption of digital financial services across the country. The total number of mobile money transactions increased from 705 million in September 2024 to 728 million in October 2024, marking a significant surge within demand. Now, this rise also led to a corresponding increase in the total value of Momo transaction, which grew from 284.9 billion Ghana cedis to 298.6 billion. However, the balance of float, the amount of the money held in mobile money accounts, declined from 225.1 billion to 24.2 billion during the period under review. The increase in mobile money usage in October 2024 can be attributed to positive shift in market dynamics despite ongoing economic and regulatory challenges, including calls for the scrapping of reduction of the e-levy rate. And that's all for ABC Headline. I am Eric Chinibwa Mello. The news was streaming live on YouTube. Do well to revisit just in case you missed. ABC in the Morning continues shortly after this break.